Hey besties, what's up? Welcome back. So today I am going to be doing an updated brow tutorial. Yay! Curious to know how to get the pop-in brows that you see on Instagram, that you see beauty gurus do all the time, and their brows are like, I'm going to put y'all on today. All right, so I'm going to show you my tricks, my tips, the products I use and achieve a bomb brow. All right, just keep in mind, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. So don't get upset if one eyebrow is looking a little bit weird than the other one. They're not always going to be the same. However, you always just want to take your time to perfect it so it looks good. You know what I mean? So the first thing you definitely want to do before anything is make sure that your brows, your regular brows, before you add any product to it, is groomed. Brows, whether you wax it, whether you thread it, whether you use just those little razor things, whatever you do, just make sure that your brows are cleaned up. All the extra hairs that are all over the place, you always want to have those in place. If you're new at it, just practicing and you'll definitely get better at doing your eyebrows. What I do is I usually grab a spoolie. Another thing I always use is an angled brush. I'm going to leave all the products in the description box in case you have any more questions. Alright, so this is the MAC 266 angled brush. I use the e.l.f. flat eyeliner brush. What I use this for is to clean up my brows with my concealer, which I'm going to show you further on in the tutorial. Next, you're definitely going to need some kind of pomade. Where Anastasia Beverly Hills has brow pomades. e.l.f. Cosmetics, this is the one that I use. It's kind of like a cream gel base. And the next thing you're going to need is a concealer. If you are a darker or deeper skin tone, get a concealer which is at least one shade lighter than your complexion. Alright, you can go 2 shades light, but if you go 2 shades light, just always make sure you are blending, blending, blending. It's totally optional as well. You do not have to do this. This is the NYX Cosmetics Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. It's like a little mascara wand, which you'll see later on. I just put that when I'm finished, and it kind of gives the brow, it's supposed to set the brow and keep it in place, but I don't really see a difference with that. I just personally like the look that it gives me after. Alright, so pretty much those tools are all that you're going to need. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing is first, I'm going to take my spoolie. And I'm basically just going to brush my hairs in place. Now I'm going to start by applying some of that brow pomade. I'm going to just take a little bit. You don't want a lot of product, especially towards the front of your brow. So you want to focus most of the product towards the end of your brow. So be very careful how much product you're taking onto your brush. So just take a little bit at a time and use light strokes to draw a line. As you see, I have very little brows, so I like to create my own shape underneath my hairs. So I pretty much take the line up towards about almost to the tail of the brow, and then I begin to fill in. Also, I like to bring a decent amount of product underneath my brow because I like when it's a little bit darker under there. And I'm not extending the brow all the way down here. I'm extending the brow to about where my eye ends. And then I'll just fill it in. Now, when you get to the beginning of the brow, I like to just flick the hairs upwards with whatever product that's left on the brush. Just flick it up to create some kind of natural effect, because naturally your brows are, it has that natural shape, so you want to keep that there. Now I'm going to move to the top of the brow with light strokes and a little bit of product, starting about right here, not in the beginning as yet. And I'm just going to draw a line, creating an arch. If you notice, I'm using very, very light strokes, guys. Make sure you're not too heavy hand whenever you're doing this. All right, so now we've got our arch here. Now I'm just gonna drag this line down, meeting the first line. And I'm gonna fill in. I'm gonna focus most of the product in this area here. Drag it down. Now moving to the front of the brow, flick up. And then I'm gonna just drag whatever product that's left on the brush towards the front and connect that line. And just fill in. Whatever product that's left on the brush is what I'm using. So moving on to cleaning up our brows. So I'm going to take the LA Girl Pro Concealer, squeeze some out and put it on the back of my hand. And I grab my flat brush and I just pick up a little bit of product at a time, just like so. And then I begin to carve the bottom of my brows out. All right. Now I'm just going to drag the product down to blend it out. See, I want to make sure that the concealer is not noticeable. Just take my fingers, kind of press it in. All right, and voila. Practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the more you do it, the better you'll get, okay? So now the final step, I make the Control Freak brow gel that I use to top it off. And it's totally optional. Like I said, you don't have to do it, but I'm going to apply this because I like the way it gives me, it looks. All right, so I just apply like a tiny coat of this to my brows. Brushing the hairs in the front upwards, and then I'll just apply it in this direction of my brows. Okay, this is also not expensive, you guys. I believe it was about $7. Somewhere around there. So now I'm going to finish up the rest of my face and I'll be back to show you guys